When politicians say something uncouth, we refer to them as being politically incorrect. But what are those politicians who make utterly confusing and disjointed statements and act like nobody really noticed? Well, we here at MidPoint have unilaterally decided they ought to be called politically incoherent. Now, that brings us to this past Saturday. Iowa Senator and hog castrator extraordinaire Joni Ernst held her inaugural Roast and Ride in Boone, Iowa. 7 presidential candidates took to the stage to make every down-home, pig farming, motorcycle riding reference that they and their campaign writers could muster. Not to mention the ton of zingers lined up for Hillary Clinton, which will continue until next year. On that note, let us begin with former Silicon Valley executive and presidential candidate Carly Fiorina, who reminded us how important it is that our commander-in-chief knows how to operate a tractor.
There was recently a poll earlier this week that asked Americans who they most wanted to see debate Hillary Clinton. I was gratified that I won that poll. And so I was thinking this morning, I really would be tempted on that general election debate stage to ask Hillary if she's ever ridden on a John Deere tractor. I know she's had a few photo ops. But the truth is, I think what we need to ask Hillary Clinton now is, Mrs. Clinton, what else don't we know?
Carly, don't worry. I'm sure Rush Limbaugh will have dug up every detail about Hillary's lack of plow experience in no time. I just can't see Mrs. Clinton on board a John Deere. It just doesn't. Something doesn't fit. All right, next up, spitting lyrics of the backcountry, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who, of course, we mentioned Hillary Clinton, as everybody did and as everybody will from here on until next year, comparing Mrs. Clinton's accessibility. Of course, we've talked about that with the media, how she doesn't want anybody close or go to the back of the line. So that accessibility compared to that of brutal North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un before he cozied up to the farmers in his crowd.
Hillary Clinton couldn't be here today because there's a crowd that may ask her a question. It's easier to meet the leader of North Korea than it is her. Chuck Grassley was here today. You know why? Free food. I'm on Judiciary Committee. Let me tell you one thing I've learned. It's good to have a farmer in charge of the lawyers.
Senator Chuck Grassley, by the way, is chairman of the Senate Judicial Committee. In addition to farmer, he was also an assembly line worker, so we'll see. It's also good to have an assembler in charge of the lawyers when Senator Graham sidles up to those auto workers in Detroit, which he'll do very soon as well. And please, Senator, let the real professionals tell the jokes, please. Also joining this crowd of incoherence, former Texas Governor Rick Perry, who spoke to the crowd about the importance of showing constituents that you are a leader and you know how to get things done. Show them, not just tell them.
We will see a lot of men and women come here, and they will talk about the future of this country. As well they should. You're going to hear from some extraordinary men and women. I am privileged to just be able to share a stage with these young men and women that's going to talk about the future of America. But this is going to be a show me, don't tell me election. This is going to be one of those where we stand up and say, what have you done? Where have you led?
And who actually hooked up the ground on your microphone, if you will. Finally, here's one from Mike Huckabee, asking the crowd for help becoming president. And he cites an old saying from Arkansas that if you see a turtle on a fence post, it didn't get up there by itself.
I need your help. There's an old saying we say in Arkansas that if you ever see a turtle on a fence post, rest assured the turtle didn't get there by himself. And if I become president, it will not be without your help.
So it's a turtle on a fence post and becoming president of the United States. Okay, now you know why we call this political incoherence. No offense to anybody, of course, because we understand this is all just stumping in politics and nobody really knows half the time what they're saying anyway. But still, kind of put it together a little bit and let's make it all work. Hillary Clinton on a John Deere. Okay. We'll try to make some sense of that again tomorrow, if you will. Rock on, true believers. Thanks for joining us. Don't be incoherent. Join us again tomorrow right back here on the only show that questions everything. This is MidPoint.